Hello, Miles here from Tech Silver. Today I'm going to be telling you about our personal alarm and GPS tracker. Now this is ideal for quickly locating anyone as well as being alerted of an emergency situation as efficiently as possible. It's great for elderly people, including people with dementia who go wandering or perhaps who are at risk of falls. Teenagers or young people who are going travelling, particularly young females abroad, lone workers and any person that you'd be able to locate quickly and easily should you want to. So before explaining in more detail, I'm going to quickly let you know what makes this different to other GPS trackers on the market. So to start off with, it's got an SOS button. It will alert anyone who's linked to it via the smartphone app, not only that it has been pressed, but also of their location as well. This is 3G as well as being 2G. To explain that, places in the world like Australia, America, many countries in Asia and others have done or will be switching off their 2G masts very soon. That basically means there will be no more 2G signal. That means any 2G tracker won't work. This, however, is 2G and 3G, so it's set up to work in all those countries and many others around the world, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later on. Additionally, it's got a free smartphone app with it that can be used on Android devices and iOS devices, so iPhones, and it's really nice to use, got a fantastic map on it and can show this location from anywhere in the world. It's also got flexible different modes, so depending whether you're looking for very quick locations or you want really long battery life, it can be adjusted to your needs, and I'll explain a little bit more about that next. Okay, so how does it work? Well, first and foremost, it's a GPS tracker. It's got 3 different modes. To start off with, you've got quick location mode. Now this means that the tracker is constantly updating its location, and anytime you go on your app you can check where it is. In this mode the battery will last about 1 to 2 days. The next mode is called power saving mode, and this is the default mode and what I'd recommend using it in. The way this works is it's got 2 different settings: moving and sleeping. Okay, so when it's moving, obviously that's when it's on the move, when it's physically moving, and when it's sleeping is when it's stationary. On the app settings, you can set how often the location updates for when it's both moving and sleeping. So for example, you might set it to update every 2 or 3 minutes whilst moving, or every hour or 2 whilst it's sleeping. This means that when your loved one is just relaxing or sleeping, perhaps they've got their feet up and it's not being used, this will not be draining precious battery life. But as soon as they get up and they wear it or put it on their person and start moving, it will change the update frequency of the location to that different setting which you've set. In this case, as I said, 2 or 3 minutes. So this means the battery will last a lot longer and it will be ready to be used when you want it. The third and final mode is called SOS button only. This means the tracker is sleeping all the time until the SOS button is pressed. This is ideal for people that you don't need to keep an eye on all the time, but you'd like to be notified of their location when they're in an emergency situation and they press the SOS button. Whilst in this mode, the battery life can last months. There's also no limit to the number of smartphones that can track one device, particularly at no extra cost as well. So maybe you or your partner, maybe other family members or colleagues can all track the same tracker at no extra cost. You can also track as many trackers as you want from one phone. Maybe you've got multiple children going away or multiple elderly people you're looking after, even people that are colleagues that are out in the field that are lone workers. You can track as many of them as you like, all on the same smartphone and on the same map. Now this is really useful, especially if you're looking after lots of people at once. Okay, so the next thing that's important about this device is of course the SOS button. Now to start off with, it's firm enough so that you don't accidentally press it, but it's not difficult to press for somebody with manual dexterity issues or perhaps arthritis. I think it's just right in the middle. If it's pressed 3 times in quick succession, the light will flash and it will alert any of the smartphones that are connected to this device via a loud notification. It will beep until they acknowledge the notification on their phone. When this is pressed 3 times, it goes into quick location mode. So its location is updated straight away. Now it doesn't matter which mode that I mentioned before that you've got it set in, as long as somebody presses that button 3 times, you'll be able to locate them. Now, you've also got the option to make the device beep. It's got a tiny speaker on the back here. So not only will it vibrate and notify the person who's tracking them on their smartphone, but the device will make a noise as well, just to let the person who's got it know that they have triggered the alarm. Okay, so this will alert you when anything you want to know about has happened. So for example, maybe you're running out of battery and you need to make sure it gets charged, or maybe you're tracking a loved one and you need to remind them to charge it. This can alert your smartphone when it's running low on battery. It will also alert you when it's running low on data, and it will do that a few times, so you'll never be caught out and have a period perhaps where you're not able to track your loved one. And generally it can alert any of the people who are paired with the device whenever you need it to. So you won't be caught high and dry, and you'll always be in the know should you need to be. Okay, so let's talk about the design and the aesthetics of this. So to start off with, it's really small and light. If I just quickly show you it next to a credit card, you can see how small it is. Next up, you've got a really nice keyring that's permanently attached to the device. It's also on a 360-degree swivel, so it means that it's not going to get caught up in your pocket or perhaps get bent and rip off. It's really well designed to be rugged. That can of course be attached to a set of keys, but it could also be put on a lanyard and worn around someone's neck, attached to a bag or a rucksack, perhaps a piece of equipment. Just about anything you want to attach this to, this is ideal for. So anywhere you need to put it, it can be easily attached and be there whenever it's required. This device is also shock and water resistant, so it's pretty rugged and can generally, withstand just about anything you throw at it. It's also water resistant to IP55. So as long as you keep this little charging port in the bottom here closed, it can withstand water jets being squirted at it, is the measure of IP55. So you're talking bad weather's fine, I'd say very light submersion, perhaps for you to drop it into a puddle or something, but it's not fully waterproof, so it can't be used underwater. But for general day-to-day purpose, this is very good and very, very rugged. Okay, so let's talk about the data and how much it costs to use. So as I mentioned before, I'll go over it again briefly. This is 2G and 3G, and it basically means that it won't just work in places that have 2G signal like most of Europe, but also Australia, America, lots of Asia, and many, many other countries around the world that have moved from 2G to 3G signal. In terms of data, it comes with 1 month of free data. That's at the moment. I recommend you check the product page below to see what the latest information is. But at the moment, it comes with 1 month of free data. Now, after that period, you have the option to buy 3, 6, or 12 months of unlimited data. And as it's one of the most cost-effective trackers on the market, this is a pretty low cost. What you're paying for there is so that the data, the location data from the device, can be transmitted to your smartphone. It's also got a roaming SIM inside, so that means it's not restricted to any particular network like Verizon or O2 or Vodafone. It can move across the different networks to make sure that it have the best signal strength available. So this is a fantastic safety feature if somebody's in a remote area, perhaps with only one signal or one carrier available. This also makes a really good alternative for those traditional elderly pendant alarms. So one of the main problems with them to start off with is they're quite stigmatizing. So many old people just don't like to wear them, or they leave them on the side, which means if they do have a fall, then it's not much use to them. This, I think, is designed much more nicely. It's not very stigmatizing. It's small, and it works anywhere, most importantly. So those traditional pendant alarms normally work within, say, 50 meters around the home. This will work anywhere. So whether they're in the local supermarket, maybe walking the dog, or out and about, they can press this at any time, and it will not only alert you that they need help, but also tell you where the location is at that time. It's also much, much cheaper than paying a weekly fee for one of those pendant alarms, so it's a really good solution that's definitely worth considering if you're looking for something that works anywhere. Okay, so which countries does this work in? Well, the data that comes with it, and subsequently the data that you purchase after the free month is over, works anywhere in Europe, including countries like Switzerland, Norway and Iceland. It works in the USA and it works in China. So that's all included in that 1 month of free data. If you'd like it to use in other countries around the world, then you can do that. All you've got to do is purchase roaming data. And if you click on the link to our product page, you can see the prices for that. But they're pretty reasonable and they range from a couple of days to a month. Perhaps you're visiting somewhere abroad for a short period of time. You can take this with us and use it when you're there. And finally, this tracker has got Wi-Fi for indoor location. This doesn't mean you connect to your Wi-Fi like you would do with your laptop or your smartphone, but as you may not know, GPS is generally designed for outdoor use. So when somebody's in a home, it can be less accurate. Well, this has got Wi-Fi positioning, so it uses the signal from Wi-Fi within the building to help triangulate a more accurate location when somebody's indoors. Another thing that makes this stand out from other trackers on the market. Okay, so finally, this has got a range of different delivery options. We ship all over the world, including America and Australia, and we've got lots of different options available, particularly in the UK or Europe, when you can have it nice and cheaply or you can have it extremely quickly, whichever suits your budget. Now, we've got a team of experts that are available to answer any more questions and queries you have. I recommend reading the product page below, but if you have any more questions, feel free to get in touch with one of our team, and you can do that on live chat, via email, or by giving us a call. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.